They're back. Once again, we got a New York Jets game to break down and a whole lot of news to talk about. I'm going to do something I planned to do last week. I'm going to talk about my top 5 candidates I would want to see coaching the New York Jets. Is your favorite candidate on the list? How am I going to rank them? Well, we're going to get into that tonight. Trivia to do as well, but you know what's up. It is Wednesday night. It's 6 p.m. and we are live. And well, welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you as always for joining me. First and foremost, a very happy Thanksgiving Eve to you, your family, your friends, your enemies, everybody around you. Hope you got big plans. Hope the work week is over for everybody. I was done on Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and I can't say I was complaining. So I am feeling pretty dang good. I already had my big meal for Thanksgiving. That had to do it on Thanksgiving Eve because got some other stuff to do tomorrow. But I am feeling pretty good, probably because I haven't had to see the Jets play in a long time. But let's talk about what's going on in the world of New York sports. Let's talk about what's on my mind right now and a little bit of what we like to call 3 and out. First thing I'm going to mention real quick, baseball. Blake Snell, the first major domino to fall has. The left-handed starter agrees to terms with the LA Dodgers. The rich get richer. 5 years, $182 million for a 32-year-old starter who has not shown a heck of a lot of ability to stay healthy. So this really leaves, if you look at aces on the free agent market, you're looking at Corbin Burns, you're looking at Max Fried. The next level after that, the Sean Manaeas, the Luis Severinos, Walker Buehler, if you're looking at a reclamation project, guys like that. As far as the locals go with it, the Yankees checked in with Snell. Apparently there was a Zoom call, but never were serious threats. And apparently the Mets were never involved at all. But one thing with David Stearns, he rarely gives out a lot of money long-term for starting pitchers, and this might be an example of that. So let's see what the Mets wind up doing as far as that goes. But man, oh man, that Dodgers rotation between – it's hard to remember everybody. Yamamoto, Glasnow. They have a couple of free agents in Flaherty and Buehler. But you got some guys coming back from injury, such as Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, Clayton Kershaw will probably be there until like 2050. He's not going anywhere at this rate. So the rich get richer. On to the New York Knicks. And there's a reason why I put the Garden in the background tonight. A wire-to-wire win in Denver. They dominate the Nuggets 145-118 just the other night. Here's what's so crazy about it. In the last 23 years playing in Denver, the Knicks had won only 3 times. Their record was 3-20. They had 7 players in this game score in double figures, tied a franchise record with 45 assists. OG Anunoby, he has been scoring like crazy in the month of November, a career-high 40 points on 16 of 23 shooting. He is earning that contract, made 5 of 7 from three-point range. Knicks as a team shot 60.9%. And Jalen Brunson, great night for him. 23 points, career-high 17 assists. The last time any Knick surpassed 20 points and 15 assists in a game was Nate Robinson back in 2009. So 15 years is a heck of a long time. And then you got Karl Anthony Towns with 15 rebounds. And then Jokic, the 3-time MVP for Denver, he is averaging a triple-double for the season. He was held to 22 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. So good job by Karl Anthony Towns holding him down. Only downside in this game, if you're a Knicks fan, is that Mikal Bridges shot 6 of 16. So, of course, on social media after the game, the Knicks fans are focusing on him, saying we traded our future for this guy. It's amazing. Even after wins, a lot of fan bases are focusing on the negatives. But the Knicks continue their 5-game road trip Wednesday night. That would be tonight in Dallas. And then Friday, Charlotte, North Carolina, and I will be there. I am taking the train on Black Friday from Raleigh to Charlotte. First NBA game I've seen in person in 10 years. So I'm looking forward to going. This is one of those ridiculous NBA Cup games. So, again, I expect the court to be like powder blue and maybe have that beehive hexagon shape all over it. So I expect it to be an absolute eyesore, but I kind of am looking forward to the game. And even if the game is lousy, I have a very good beer spot picked out for after the game. Now, the other team that plays in the Garden, that would be the opposite. The New York Rangers have been a complete joke over the last week to week and a half. 3 straight losses, including a 5-2 loss on Monday night to the lousy St. Louis Blues, a team that was scoring 2.3 goals per game. The Rangers get outshot 43-29, 3 straight games allowing 40 shots or more. And right now, a lot of the fans are focusing on 3 players: Mika Zibanejad, Jacob Trouba, Keandre Miller. But here's the point. No one on this team is playing the way they should be, aside from Will Cooley. That's it. This Ryan Lindgren, Jacob Trouba pairing, it needs to be broken up. It doesn't work. They have no speed. They cannot move. They cannot get the puck out of the zone. Zone breakouts are non-existent with these guys. It's I don't even know what to compare it to. It's like watching Ty Conklin with a fourth down run up the middle. That's what it's like. That's the football comparison to watching these two play defense. And now tonight, where are they? Oh, they're just 2 or 3 miles away from where I sit right now doing this broadcast. They're at the Lenovo Center in frickin' Raleigh to play the Hurricanes. Those Hurricanes, the 3rd highest scoring team in hockey, who just blitzed Dallas at that lovely game I went to on Monday, scoring 5 goals in the 3rd period. I was wondering, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to the game, but if I go to the game, can I do the show like I normally would? The way the Rangers are playing, they made that decision easy. I was like, I'm doing the frickin' show tonight. Please. Now, look, I'm not saying the Ranger season is done. They are 12-7-1, but I got to say this, and I have tried to resist it, but changes are needed somewhere with this roster. A shakeup is needed, but a lot of these players have no movement clauses. There are cap restrictions. I just really wonder what Chris Drury is going to be able to accomplish. But, I am definitely I don't think you could pay me to go into that arena. Any hockey arena where the fans are doing the wave, major demerit. And $17 for a beer, bite me, Raleigh. But as far as the other hockey teams go, hey, Devils, got to give them credit. They've won 5 out of 6. They host St. Louis tonight. The Islanders keep finding ways to lose. They have dropped 4 of 5. They host Boston tonight. All right, let's get that out of there right now. And let's just say a couple of hellos to some folks in the chat. I see we have a few people hanging out in the background. First of all, let's say Tony Alexio. It's taking time. Let's enjoy our misery with better picks. If you've got a certain prospect that you are that excited about, then I think then I get it. But I will maintain the good general managers will find ways to bring in talent. The bad general managers will always find a way to screw it up. Unless you're going for a certain quarterback, I don't know if that's I don't know. It's only because, I want options, but my God, it's hard to root against one of my teams. It's very difficult. The great Thomas Fitzpatrick. Yeah, go. Hey, Fitzy, how you doing? Not an NBA Cup game. Bring some eye drops. I know. I may have to break out my blue blocker sunglasses. Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, I got them right here. Here we go. Upside down. There we go. Maybe I should just do the rest of the show like this. Did y'all remember the old blue blockers infomercials from way back when with Dr. Geek doing the rap and everything like? Yeah. My name is Geek. I'm just a big hip hopper man. I love these blue blockers. Everything is clear. They block out the sun. Oh yeah, I gotta get me some. All right. That is probably the first and last time I will ever be rapping on the show. And just as I do that, the audience stumbles. No. I embraced my whiteness many years ago. What else can I say? But yes, I think I will have to bring the blue blockers on Friday when I step into the Spectrum Center for that game. And hey, no doubt the Knicks should absolutely be winning. The Knicks should dominate Charlotte. They are playing amazing. I never imagined I would see like a Knicks team averaging 140 to 150 points a game. It is pretty crazy. Yeah. Fitzy, this would be like early 90s. So yes, I do have to remember that. Yeah. Thomas, I think, could barely get into an R-rated movie without lying to a couple of people. But yes, Tony Alexio. Yep, as we said earlier, happy Thanksgiving for sure. All right, guys. I think you all know what we need to do right now. All right. We got to switch the theme from blue to green, and we've got to change the background right now. So let's get out of the Garden of Dreams and go to the Garden of Doom. There we go. Guys, I would play the chant right now, but I am just so beat down by everything here. I do have a soundbite to actually play for you as we begin our journey into the misery that is the New York Jets. This was actually said on WFAN. I'm going to play this about 8-9 second clip right now.
This is the New York Jets, where careers come to die and the worst memories of your life are born.
Yeah, that was Greg Giannotti in the open this morning, and I think that pretty much sums everything up. Let's say a couple more quick hellos. Dano! How you doing, my man? I'm glad that you have made it tonight. Sharon McLean is here early. Sharon usually shows up just in time for trivia. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I say this. I've said this again and again. I just want to get to the playoff machine. I want to be relevant in the playoff machine. Like around week 13, week 14. We can't even get that. Hey, we got past Columbus Day, sort of. But that was about it. Scott Foster, there you go. All right. Good to see you, my man. Glad you are here tonight. Harlan, as a true Jets fan, I want the team to win every game they can. Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. We have seen so many losing seasons. So many losing seasons that it feels like we've been punting on seasons for the last 10 years, 5 to 10 years. I'm tired of punting. I'm done with it. It's like I could deal with one more bad year in order to move some players out, to get some assets with a new general manager and a new coach. I could deal with it for 1 year, dealing with some cap hits, getting rid of some of the fat cats to do that. But it's like, give me 1 year where you just take it on the chin, where half your salary cap is taken up by dead cap money. I don't want it dragging into 2026. That's about where I am. If you're going to rip off the Band-Aid, rip the thing off, and then put some sandpaper on the wound as well. Yeah. Scott, we are still alive, and believe it or not, I'm actually going to talk about that. Why? Because I need help. I need therapy. I actually figured it out. Billy SBC does not want to see a coordinator. No coordinators. He makes his feelings very, very clear. Well, it has not been working, and believe me, I want experience. I think what Billy's probably saying is he just wants somebody with some experience, and Billy, I am on the same page with you, man. Yeah, I definitely agree. It's just that there's only so many of those guys out there. I mean, you can get guys who are experienced that absolutely stunk recently, I mean, at this point, we would have said, hey, Todd Bowles, Todd Bowles had experience. Hey, Robert Saleh, he's got experience, technically speaking now. Pat Shurmur's got experience. But I don't think anybody is really too excited about that. Tony says Thomas Morstead is our MVP. Well, I will let you know, after the season ends, the first week after the season ends, we will be doing our Jets award show. We did this last year, the whole Jets awards. I've got all kinds of categories. There will be an offensive MVP and a defensive MVP. It's going to be hard to find positive things to say, but we will be doing our award show come January. So get your tuxes and gowns ready to go for that night, and we'll see what winds up happening. Harlan, one high draft pick will not change the Jets' fortune. unless that one draft pick is named Patrick Mahomes. That's about the only way. And that quarterback is not in this class, to say the least. Scott Foster, all in on Vrabel if they can get him. All right, well, yay. I may talk about Mike Vrabel a little bit later on. I just might do that. Dane, anyone else interested in Braylon possibly getting the start? Well, we'll talk about the running back situation in a little bit. All right, well, let's first of all talk about the Jets news. Let's make that a little bit bigger. And so the first thing that we are going to talk about as far as what's going on in Jets world, and every week it's just more and more craziness. But the first thing we're going to talk about is how the Jets can actually make the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Oh, that's right. We got 2 new sound bites that I had to break out on the show. So the Jets have a 0.7% chance to make the playoffs. There is currently a better chance that Bobby Midnight becomes president of the United States in 2028. Okay, it's about the same chance. So other than the Jets winning their final 6 games of the year, I'll give everybody a chance to laugh and get it all out of their system. What else really needs to happen? Really, only 2 teams you have to worry about. Indianapolis, realistically, Indianapolis has to go 3-2 or worse. Their last 5 games are New England, Denver, Tennessee, the Giants, and Jacksonville. So, they could lose to Denver, but New England, Tennessee, the Giants, and Jacksonville. Indy has one of the easiest remaining schedules in the NFL. And for anybody who had any prayer the Jets might have a chance, that Indy game pretty much killed it. The other thing that has to happen is Denver going 1-4. Their last 5 games are Cleveland, Indy, the Chargers, Cincinnati, and Kansas City. Now, that is not what I would call completely impossible. So that is your 0.7% chance of, and then Cincy would have to lose like 2 games along the way, things like that. But, there is a chance, 0.7% chance. It's funny. Last year, those of you who have been with me for a while know that a year ago, we did the 6-step plan for the Jets to get the number 6 seed. And we did it right about this time last season. This seems even more absurd just because the team just seems so dead. At least that team had a defense and had a little bit of heart left. This team plays, they'll play close games, but they always find ways to lose. And that is just what is so infuriating. So, yeah, that's the situation as far as the playoffs go.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Flag me for that, YouTube. You jerks. Oh, gosh. All right, so some people talking about Vrabel here in the background. Harlan says that Vrabel won't come, and then Scott asks why. Harlan said, first you have to deal with the GM, who doesn't exist. Jets have an owner that likes to have his say in what goes on. Well, the reputation of the Johnson family is definitely getting around, but maybe the hope is that Woody actually goes away. Christopher definitely seems to be better liked than Woody. And I don't consider Chris to be much of a meddler. He hasn't made the best decisions, maybe necessarily. But I think if I had to bet on Chris or Woody and the Jets having success with one of those two, I would go with Christopher. Just my opinion. But I think Chris likes the limelight a little bit. Shoot, Woody had the bling, the chain. I bet Chris has the bling, the glasses. He has everything going on. He probably has some gold in his teeth. I think Christopher Johnson probably has a grill or something like that going on. Sharon, I never root against the Jets, Mets, Knicks, or Rangers. Sharon, you got about as I'm on my way to becoming you at this rate. But at least you can remember the 86 World Series. I can't. Oh, my gosh. All right. So now let's talk about the big news, and that was the 33rd team. The Jets are recruiting Mike Tannenbaum and Rick Spielman. Quick hello to Wow Wave. How you doing, man? Good to see you tonight. And then we've got the immortal from Kenosha, Wisconsin, Chris Berthigan. How are you doing, my man? Glad you're here tonight. Hope you and the family are doing great. Everybody who's just joining us, and I see the chat is getting bigger. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to everybody. Turkey is, I will take turkey over there. Maybe we'll talk about Thanksgiving stuff a little bit later on tonight. Yeah, well, Chris's are cool dudes. Yeah, very modest guys also, I hear. Yeah. Scott taking the positive spin here. Any potential hire is going to see talent on this team. And any coach that will win here will have a lifetime pass in New York. Here's my only problem, Scott. How long till that young talent wants out? I got a bad feeling that some of those young studs are going to be asking for trades out of here. I'm worried about it. So, all right. So a couple things. We know who Mike Tannenbaum is. We don't need to get in a whole lot of depth as far as he goes. But Rick Spielman, what's that? Chris Spielman? Nah, he was a player. Rick Spielman helped Washington in their search last year, which resulted in the hires of Adam Peters as GM and Dan Quinn as head coach. Now, Peters was the assistant general manager in San Francisco. Pretty good place to go to. Now, the thing with the 33rd team is last week they posted an article about external candidates and who they suggested the Jets hire as GM. The four names they really referenced were Ray Agnew from the Lions, Mike Borgonzi from the Chiefs, Ed Dodds from the Colts, and Jeff Ireland from the Saints. Now, Jeff Ireland is the name that most people know. He was with Miami for a little bit. He's a Parcells guy. I think he also asked one of the draft candidates if his mother had ever been a prostitute or something like that. Just has some weird questions. So, swig of water for the working man and woman. All right. So here, and I thought it was kind of not surprising, but really disappointing that a lot of Jet fans were ripping this. And then you get all these big shots like Dove Kleiman and awful announcing, all these jerk-offs who just look to take a shot at the Jets any chance they get. Say, only the Jets would bring in a former general manager, a manager they fired to help get their new general manager. Well, what do you want them to do? Have Woody do this by himself? You know, so to me, it just doesn't make sense. No matter what the Jets are going to do at this point, it's going to get criticized. The Jets could cure cancer, and critics would say, well, they didn't cure Alzheimer's also. That's what this is. Now, Rick Spielman was interviewed by CBS Sports yesterday. That video is about 15, 16 minutes long up on their website. And one or two things that he said that stuck out to me. He said that he and Tannenbaum is the lead here. Spielman's more of the assistant. So let's make that clear. They will help interview candidates and collect information. So they are basically researching, but ultimately it's up to Woody Johnson to make the final decision. But Spielman and Tannenbaum will not have any interference with their part of the process. Right. So there are stricter policies with hiring coaches. We have to keep that in mind. With the coaching candidates, if they are employed, you have to wait till their season is over before you could talk to them. But with a potential general manager, they could be interviewed even while their teams are in the playoffs, so you have less restrictions with hiring the general manager. So as soon as the regular season ends, expect the Jets to start doing some interviews. And as far as what appealed to Rick Spielman about Adam Peters, he said that Peters was a personnel guy, but he had people skills as well. And when you hire a GM nowadays, you have to realize it's not just drafts, free agents, trades, and hiring the staff. You are basically overseeing the entire football operations, unless you're hiring a vice president, who's above the general manager. It doesn't appear right now that the Jets are going to do that. And to me, I'm okay with that. If you hire the right general manager, then that's good. Then again, I would still argue the Jets had the right general manager. It's just that they completely screwed up the coaching situation. And the other thing with Rick Spielman, I can see why he and Tannenbaum are going to get along well. In the 15, 16 minutes, he said the word process 11 or 12 times. Like, I don't know where this freaking process all started, but Tannenbaum was the one who I first really heard say it. Him and Mangini, it's like, made a lot of progress throughout the process. And the process, we're going to let the process, and the processing of the process is how we process progress. Oh, my God. It just made, just so aggravating listening to those press conferences. So when you don't know what you're doing, when you're not sure, you don't want to give anything away, you refer to the process. What are you going to do, right? A couple other comments. Let's see. Billy, we need a really good OC. Not concerned about HC. Well, I think it's easier to get it's always you can get a good head coach. The thing is, where are you going to get the offensive coordinator from? And isn't it interesting that now there's a lot of people saying we shouldn't have let go of Mike LaFleur? So you can't make chicken salad out of chicken crap. Not that I'm referring to a certain former quarterback we had as that, but what was LaFleur supposed to do? Happy Thanksgiving to you, David. Appreciate it, man. Thanks. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. How about hiring Spielman? You know what? He's got a pretty good deal right now. He's doing the podcast on CBS. He's got some job security. So, yeah, it would be funny, though, if he interviewed himself. It's like, okay, Woody, we've done a lot of interviewing. We have gone around the league. We have interviewed the most qualified candidates possible. We've looked high and low, and we've researched everything thoroughly, and we really feel like we have the best general manager to lead your team back to glory and back to prominence. Oh, okay, great. Who's that candidate going to be? You're looking at him. Woody would probably buy that bullshit. If he says it convincingly enough, Woody would buy it and probably hire him. But I think Phil Savage will get an interview as well. He's been in the NFL for many, many years as well. But again, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. There is barely anybody who would get me excited as a general manager. John Dorsey, I feel pretty good about because he helped turn Cleveland around. But again, I was excited about Joe Douglas. I just don't know of any general manager who could really move the needle for me. There's some coaches who can get me pretty excited. General managers, I'll be like, okay, fine, whatever. Top tier Jet fans only on the Wicker chair. Thanks, Adam. Good to see everyone here. Thanks, Yeti. Good to see you, man. Appreciate it. Dane, I think that's going to be the situation. They might make recommendations, but they're not going to be the ones making the hire. They're just going to advise Woody on what they think should be done. So yeah, but I think it's got to be up to the general manager to hire the coach. If it isn't, then we will have some issues. Billy thinks it will be Gruden or Vrabel, but it might be Rex. If McCarthy shakes loose, it will probably be him. Not if Aaron Rodgers is not going to be here next year, you can rule out Mike McCarthy right away. I don't see that one happening. Mike McCarthy would really, really surprise me. For offensive coordinator, what happened to Eric Bieniemy? Eric Bieniemy went to, what was it, New Orleans or something? Yeah, he definitely left Kansas City. He went to, Bieniemy went to UCLA? Yeah, he was with Washington. Last year he was with Washington. So Bieniemy is now the associate head coach and offensive coordinator at UCLA. I didn't even know he was in the college game. I thought he was still in the NFL. So yeah, he's at UCLA right now. Yeah, Chrissy. Sharon. Sharon got this week's trivia right. All right. Yeah, John Dorsey and McClay would be good because of their experience. Okay. You are, but, that's I don't mind. You keep brown-nosing, half the other people in here will actually believe that bullshit. Oh, what do we have here? Rich, look at Richie Rich over here. I see a yeah, I definitely see the turkey. And okay, very good. Yeah, I had my turkey a week ago at school. At the college I work at, we had a Friendsgiving dinner. So the dining hall, they did a full Thanksgiving dinner for us. So still had to pay a little bit, but like $8.50, all I could eat. Oh, I took advantage of that. I went up for like 3 servings of turkey, cornbread stuffing, roasted carrots were amazing. Mashed potatoes, pretty good. Candied yams, not my thing. No, not a candied yam guy. Salad, bunch of bread rolls, little pumpkin pie parfait. That wasn't too great. I wasn't too impressed with the desserts. But then again, after the North Carolina State Fair, where I ate a slice of deep fried pumpkin pie, pretty hard for their a little mini parfait to measure up to it. But yeah, I've gotten my turkey fill in for right now. So it was a very, very good spread. And again, for $8.50, I mean, how could you go wrong there? I wouldn't be surprised if Bieniemy wants his way back in here. I got no problem with that. I got no problem with that at all. Dan Quinn just didn't keep him around. I guess he wanted to go in a different direction and felt, Washington needed a cleansing. And Washington, D.C. does need a cleansing in more ways than one. But, but that's what Dan Quinn felt, and it seemed to be working out very well because look at that offense right now. All right, so, a couple of things here about the Aaron Rodgers situation. I've got a little theory here. Yeah, you go ahead and you have a little story? Yeah, go ahead and you can type it in there. Do you know how to tell that somebody doesn't know what they're talking about with the NFL? They cite Aaron Rodgers as being the main reason why the Jets are struggling this year. There's no doubt he's hurt. I think Aaron Rodgers has actually been hurt since the Denver game. There is a reason Aaron Rodgers does not throw the ball down the field, and I can assure you it's not because he doesn't care, and I can assure you because he's not phoning it in. Aaron Rodgers is too good, too competitive, and too tough to half-ass it. Okay? So I'm convinced he's hurt. Now, Jeff Ulbrich said today he is getting healthier. So we will see on Sunday what that looks like when the Jets face Seattle against a defense that is getting better and better and better. By the way, we'll get into Seattle a little bit more later on. But as far as the contract goes, I actually emailed or tweeted or X'd, whatever the word is now. I reached out to Rich Cimini on Twitter for his podcast, and he actually responded. He called me WA2K_1999. I should have had a clear to pronounce username, but it didn't work out that way. So, yeah, he included the underscore. But it's actually the second time in 1 month that Cimini's responded to one of my questions. Now, he doesn't know who the hell I am. I don't think he has any idea about the show or anything like that. Connor Hughes does, but I think he's about the only one. But if the Jets, so I asked him, I said, what would the difference in the cap be if Rodgers retired versus if he was cut? I wanted to know if there was any difference. And the short answer is it doesn't look like there is. Now, I'm going to give you two scenarios. Number one is if Rodgers leaves after the season. The second scenario is if Rodgers stays for next year and then leaves, whether it's being cut or whether he retires. I don't think a trade is happening. Now, if the Jets wanted to bring him back, they need to exercise a $35 million option bonus, but his cap charge is only $23.5 million. Very, very reasonable. Okay? Now, if they choose to cut him, it's a dead cap hit of $49 million. None of that is guaranteed. Now, if you cut him before June 1st, the $49 million is all next season. So it's 1 year of dead cap, basically, and that's it. Scott Foster says Dane is our capologist. Well, Dane, I'm not aware of that, but Dane, I'm going to just give you one player. You can have the 52 others. I'll just give you this one. All right, so then if the Jets cut him post June 1st, they could split the $49 million over 2 off seasons. It'd be a $14 million hit in 2025 and then $35 million in 2026. He does have a no trade clause. We need to keep that in mind. All right, so $49 million is the total cap hit if he leaves after this year. Here's the other way. Here's the other option. If he stays this year and then leaves, the dead cap hit is now $63 million before June 1st for 2026. If it's a June 1st cut, you divide that up. $21 million cap hit in 2026, a dead cap hit. And in 2027, a $42 million dead cap hit. That would be absolutely devastating. So from a business perspective, it's best to move on after this year. It's not about his ability in my mind. Here's the frustrating part. If there was a quarterback in this draft worth getting excited about, I'd be more eager. And we'll get into quarterbacks as the weeks and months go on. Leading up to the draft, we got 6 months to get into all of that. But, and I haven't really started doing a ton of research, but we will start doing that when the season ends. And I'm not going to get into Sanders, Ward, Ewers, all these guys, Malone, or whatever the hell his name is in Alabama. But right now, it wouldn't surprise me if next year we're looking at Tyrod Taylor, Jordan Travis, and some low-level veteran like a Jacoby Brissett. It wouldn't shock me if that's what we have to deal with next year. Hey, Johnny, how you doing, man? Glad you're here. You want to run it back with Aaron. From a football perspective, I get it. But from a future perspective, I don't. And here's the thing. If this hurts your ability to hire the best GM and coach, then I'm sorry, you've got to move on. I want the best foundation in place possible. That is more important to me than any player, even if it is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. That's how I really feel. Yeti, Barsine, UCLA is playing Cal. The girl next to you is UCLA, short for Oklahoma. Oklahoma. You said yes, you banged later. She was from Oklahoma. Well, for your sake, dude, I hope God put all our good qualities on the outside. Billy says there's some reasons to think it'll be Mike McCarthy as head coach. He wanted to be head coach when we hired Gase. Second, Rodgers might come back with McCarthy. So then you have Rodgers, McCarthy, and Adams probably. I think that is a last case resort. I'm not interested in McCarthy. As bad as it's gone in Dallas, I don't have much confidence it's going to get better with the Jets. I really don't. Billy would be okay with Tyrod Taylor. He's kind of a Teddy Bridgewater type starter. The thing with him is you cannot count on him staying healthy. Taylor has been very injury prone. The good thing, though, this is what's so freaking frustrating about this offense. Rodgers has had time to throw the ball, but too many times the receiver and Rodgers are not on the same page, and the running game just went into the toilet. That is what I did not expect, because in the preseason, the running games looked amazing. It really, really did. It has just been brutal all year long. I'm just stunned. I'm stunned. YWWW. I just can't blame everything on Aaron. Johnny says the team as a whole has been bad. It sucks. The team has underachieved as a whole, and I put that on the coaches. It's got to be on the coaches more than anything. Rich, who knew? Who knew that would be the highlight of our season? I remember that game, and oh man, we were all walking out of the. You're walking out of the bar or walking from your living room to around the house. You're floating on air, or if you left the stadium, if you were blessed enough to be there, man. And that was, and believe Adams wasn't there yet. Devontae Adams hadn't shown up yet. But, man, everything was just in absolute rhythm at that point. I just think that Denver blitz, they got to him, they hurt him, and it's never been the same. So, in a way, and then the Rodgers haters, we all know who they are. We're not going to get into them. But it's like if he plays, he's being selfish. He cares about himself. And if he doesn't play, he's selfish. He's sitting out. He doesn't care about the team. So, it's like the Jets, Rodgers, they have their haters, and no matter what they do, certain people are just going to criticize them because that's just the way they are. And I don't know about you as a Jets fan, I don't have time for people like that. I just don't. Oh, goodness gracious. Wild Wave. Aaron got the luxury to pick his OC. All right, well, Hackett was hired before Aaron Rodgers was traded for. Let's keep that in mind. Just got to remember that. They brought in Hackett because they thought it would appeal to Rodgers. But I don't know. I doubt Rodgers said to them, I need Nathaniel Hackett as my offensive coordinator. Okay. That's the one thing I would disagree with you there. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about my top 5 head coaching candidates. Now, we're going to do that. But I'm going to give you a couple of honorable mentions. And these are the ex-Jets. All right. There was actually a tweet that I think it was California Jets, who's an interesting follow for sure. And he said, here are the 10 guys I want to interview. Do I need to add anybody to the list? And I said, you need to add Rex Ryan. And my good friend, Dom C, Project Prospect with Dom C, definitely follow him if you haven't. Dom's a very good guy. We disagree on some things. He liked Malik Neighbors more than I did. And he liked J.C. Latham more than I did. One of us, I'm turning out to be right about Neighbors. He's turning out to be right about Latham. So these things happen. But he said, you're not serious, are you, Adam? You're not serious, are you? And I said, tune in Wednesday night and you'll find out. I had to plug the show. But I'm going to mention 3 ex-Jets. Number 1 is Aaron Glenn. I appreciate the Jets' history. He was a very good Jet. He was interviewed in the last hiring cycle when the Jets opted for Robert Saleh. He's well respected, but I cannot take a coach who is a first-time head coach plus a defensive coordinator. I can't do it anymore. It has not worked. It has not worked. Rex, it did. But you know what? The NFL has changed since then. I'm tired of being an offense where we celebrate every first down. I'm tired of being an offense where if we cross midfield, it's like an act of God. I'm tired of watching an offense where we need a penalty to get our only first down in one single half. They know. I wish more creators showed love on each other's shows. Hey, you know what? The ones who I don't care for, I just try not to say anything about them. And there's very, very few like that. I mean, the vast majority, there's a difference between disagreeing with somebody on an issue, on a Jets issue, versus having some sort of personal issue. All right. I think those are two very different things. Yeah, there's very, very, very few people. There's a couple of people on Jets Facebook and Twitter who need some, who could use a lobotomy. All right. But the content creators, no. I mean, we may not be one perfectly happy family, but yeah, I just think it's a good idea to promote, and hopefully they would do the same back. That's just, I'm not the biggest karma guy in the world, but maybe this is my, maybe just good mojo, Now, as far as there's two obvious former Jets head coaches whose names have been surfacing, Rex Ryan and Eric Mangini. All right. Now, I'm going to give you guys an opinion or two on this. And some of this might be a little bit controversial. I will tell you this. I don't have either of these two in my top 5. First of all, I want to address this thing with Eric Mangini. Maybe the most annoying argument I see people make is when they say Rex won with Eric Mangini's players. Here's the problem. Mangini didn't win with Mangini's players. Eric Mangini was a horrific game coach. He had one good year where he did manage to get to the playoffs before getting promptly spanked by New England. The next year they won 4 games, and the next year was the Favre season. And yes, you could talk to me that Brett Favre got hurt and he didn't sit down because he cared about his in-game win streak. All true. All absolutely true. But the team regressed as the year went on. Chris Jenkins went from a Pro Bowler to being basically Solomon Thomas. The team took a major, major step back. Losing, I'll never forget the loss in Seattle. We're playing Seattle this week. I'm bringing this game up, where Seattle was missing all 5 of their starting offensive linemen. Walter Jones was nowhere to be found. Seneca Wallace was in a quarterback. Thomas Fitzpatrick, if you're still here, that name's probably too young, too old for you. And the Jets they didn't blitz one single time. Mangini made some of the worst in-game decisions about kicking a field goal versus going for it, when to call a timeout versus not calling a timeout, going for it on 4th and 1 from your own 23-yard line, down 6 points on 4th and 1 with under 2 minutes to go and with the 2-minute warning and 3 timeouts left, and you go from it on your own 23-yard line. And then when they don't get it, Seattle's in perfect position to kick a field goal to make it a 2-score game. Even though the Jets had 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning where they could have stopped Seattle, forced them to punt, and go back down the field. Just some of the worst in-game coaching I ever saw. And here's the thing about comparing Rex to Mangini. The Rex haters talk about that he didn't work out in Buffalo. Rex Ryan was 15-16 as the Bills head coach. Under 500, yes, but 1 game. Anybody forget that Eric Mangini went to Cleveland and went 10-22? So Nate Jackson, that's a former Browns player. He wrote a memoir back in the year 2013. He said that when he was actually part of the practice squad in 09 and 2010. He said that Mangini's coaching style, quote, had alienated players to the point where they were deep in despair with no fight left in them. And that was just months after he took over. Mangini alienated his players. Now, the Buffalo players, they didn't always get Rex's defense. They didn't understand it. He didn't have the personnel to make it work all that well. They were a mediocre team, but hey, Rex had E.J. Manuel and Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. So again, more mediocrity. But I look at the differences. Rex Ryan, 480 career winning percentage. Eric Mangini, 413. Playoff record. Rex 4-2, Mangini 0-1. I don't want any part of Eric Mangini. If you want to put him in personnel, in scouting, something like that, that's great. I don't want him anywhere near the sideline. Nowhere near. Harlan, that's probably the exact reason people still like him. And I'm saying that as a fellow Italian, okay? I don't care. The guy was not a good coach, and he got way worse when he went to Cleveland. I mean, yeah, he was on The Sopranos the year after the Jets made the playoffs. If he had appeared 1 year later, he'd have been getting offed. Seneca Wallace, Sacramento City College. Yeah, there's some trivia for the night. Tony, Y2K, Mangini facts along with his no comment press conferences. Yeah, he tried to be Belichick. He was not himself. He tried too hard to be Belichick at the press conferences. And people talk to him. Like guys who would interview, they would talk with Mangini and say, we need this side of you more. All you knew about Mangini was he ate apple pie and ice cream after every game, and that became a hell of a lot of apple pie and ice cream. Yeah, they were like a 500 team. And also when Belichick was there, that was when the rumors were really swirling about them moving. So, yeah, they were almost in a no-win situation. Yeah, Rex took the Mangini roster minus Favre and went to 2 straight AFC championships. Yeah, you went from Brett Favre to Mark Sanchez. There's a bit of a difference there. But outside of that, who did you really have? Bart Scott, Jim Leonard, Marquez Douglas. It didn't add a whole lot of players because keep in mind with Tannenbaum, Mike Tannenbaum, if you go back to his draft record, it was a lot of 3 and 4 player drafts. That was it. Now, some of those players turned into Darrelle Revis and David Harris. But if you missed on that pick, like Mark Sanchez, they traded up to get him, and you can make an argument on how good that pick was. It didn't work out so well. Was it worth trading up what they did to go get him? It's debatable. But yeah, that roster was largely the same. And you know what? Sanchez with Rex, Brian Schottenheimer, Mike Pettin, they made it work. And you know what? For this franchise, that's saying, and Mike Westhoff. Let us not forget Mike Westhoff with the special teams. God bless him. Tony, Green Bean for I heard Green Bean's like making calls now that he wants to be general manager. Yeah, every draft pick will be a tight end. It's like the first thing he'll do is sign Kenny Yeboah to a 10-year contract extension. And then he'll draft 9 tight ends and have them play like every position on the offensive line. Just having fun. All right, guys. Well, let's get into my countdown. Wow, it's already 10 minutes to 7 already, man. Man, you guys are bringing it tonight. I appreciate it, man. I talk old Thanksgiving too. Let's talk about my 5 candidates that I want to see at least get interviewed and the guys I would look at hiring. Number 1 is Todd Monken. Well, number 5 on the list is Todd Monken. We're going from 5 to 1. Now, Monken won 2 college football playoff national championships while offensive coordinator at Georgia, and he is now the offensive coordinator in Baltimore, one of the best offenses in the league. Now, Monken in 2018 was with Tampa Bay, and at the time, the Buccaneers had the NFL's top passing offense. The next year with Cleveland, Baker Mayfield threw for a career-best 3,827 yards. Fast forward to 2024. The Ravens lead the league with 430 yards of offense per game. They are one of 2 teams that average more than 30 points per game, the other one being the Detroit Lions. Monken helped Lamar Jackson win his 2nd NFL MVP in his first year working with him. And Derrick Henry has found the fountain of youth with him, found the absolute fountain of youth with him. Can you imagine what Todd Monken could do with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams and Braylon Allen? I think he could do a lot. Now, as far as head coaching experience goes, he has not been an NFL head coach. He's only been a head coach at Southern Miss. He's coached with 4 organizations in the NFL, so he does know the league. The thing you got to worry about is 58 years old, too old for a first-time NFL head coach. I got to wonder about that. Scott Foster, the first super chat of the night with dropping the $1.99. Thank you very much. That pays for my lemonade flavor Prime over here. So swig of Prime for the working man. You guys should, Prime, if you're out there, you should sponsor this. I do like Prime. I will say that. The bottles, not the cans. The cans suck. The cans taste like soda water. The bottles taste like coconut water. So, yeah, if you haven't tried it, go for the bottles. Preferably the lemon lime, the strawberry banana, and the lemonade. Those are quite good. I think they got a watermelon one that's pretty good too. But Scott, thank you very much. Yeah, and of course the super chats cut the line. Hopefully Jake doesn't sue me for copyright infringement on that note. Dane says salmon for everybody. Denzel Mims and the salmon. Oh my God. Yeah, maybe Tyron Smith had some of that salmon. Who knows? Yeah, Mims just needed targets. Yeah, he needed some targets, all right. A bullseye on his freaking back. Billy, I really think Rex could take this roster and turn it into the Detroit Lions, a team with a lot of fire and swag, ready to fight you under a streetlight on Sunday. I wonder if the offensive line is ready to do that. Maybe, because Detroit has the best offensive line in football. The Jets, I think, have a very good one, but it could be better. The run blocking has not been good. Now, you lose Tyron Smith. Olaf Fashaner's coming in, right? So you've paired that up with Simpson, Tittman, AVT, and Moses. I mean, to me, that looks like a really good offensive line. I take my chances with it. But ground and pound doesn't work if you can't, to quote Rex, knock somebody's ass off the ball. But we definitely have to upgrade a tight end. The tight end position stinks right now. It is so bad, I would actually use Kenny Yeboah probably Conklin and Yeboah. I don't need to see Jeremy Ruckert ever again. To the Long Islanders watching this, sorry, God bless you. I want to see Kuntz before I see Ruckert ever again. Right, Johnny? Harlan says Rex didn't have that good assistant coaches. Well, he had Anthony Lynn, who was quite good. I don't know if I would count Westhoff. He was a special teams coordinator. That's his own deal. I thought Pettin was a very good defensive coordinator. So, but yeah, the other guys outside of that wasn't Marquand Manuel. Maybe that was the guy in the secondary at the time. But I thought they had some good coach. I couldn't remember too many of the other coaches there. Quarterback coach, not so good. But Johnny Boy, I don't understand when it's a third and short and we never use Braille and Allen. This team is frustrated. I know. It's like they're getting too cute. It's like we're getting too cute. Billy, I agree with you. The offensive line talent is good, but we have a 32nd rated offensive line coach. That is the first thing that needs to change. Again, when you have three, remember I showed you guys the screenshot a couple weeks ago, 3 blockers all blocking the same, I believe, New England Patriot. That's all you need to know. That's talent. That's coaching. That is all coaching. Yeah, we need more Kuntz. We all need more Kuntz in our lives. Absolutely. If Rex had the right OC in DC, he has the sexy. All of a sudden, I feel the urge to do the show in my bare feet. Every circus needs a monkey day, and I've said. We can only monkey around with one thing at a time. All right. Yeah, and how's that run game doing right now? Although that's more of the general manager because, I mean, come on. Was it Rico Dowdle or Dowdy and Ezekiel Elliott? I mean, it's amazing the Cowboys did not go get Derrick Henry. It is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Amazing to me. All right, number 4. This one might surprise you a little bit. But my number 4 candidate is going to be, here's the thing. I want an offensive mind who has a little bit of experience, has eaten a little bit of humble pie. My number 4 is going to be Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from the Buffalo Bills. Now, look at what the Bills have done. They have built a very diverse offense around Josh Allen over the last year and a half, ever since Ken Dorsey was let go. The Bills have the number 3 scoring offense in the league, averaging 29 points per game. It has been super, super efficient. I'm not going to get into all the numbers. Just trust me, it's super efficient. But he has taken Josh Allen and molded the offense around him, even after Stephon Diggs left, as certain players have been injured. Keon Coleman has had his struggles, but they have just been dynamite. You know, James Cook and Ray Davis have been a very good 1-2 punch at running back. But the fact that, think about it, this is a coach who has taken a quarterback and molded the offense around him. That is what the Jets have failed to do for years and years and years. And the run game is where it's very evident. Buffalo generates these chunk plays on the ground, but the intended design for the run is for it to be a hammer. It forces defenses to load the box and then get get out that split safety. What they're trying to do is make the downfield passing more difficult. Here's the thing. Buffalo is seeing 8-man boxes at the highest rate in the NFL, but it's still in the top 10 in success rate and rushing average. But if you look at his history, I like that he was the hot coordinator, went to Carolina and failed. Now he had a chance to go back to basics. Plus, you're hurting your division rival as well by taking away their offensive coordinator. So why not do that? Billy's saying, I think the issue is Dak Prescott's contract. They lost players like Amari Cooper because they couldn't pay them. You know what? They still could have brought in a running back, man. They really could have. They have CeeDee Lamb, but, outside of that, the offensive line is aged. Outside of that, Brandon Cooks, he's been okay for a long time. He's fine. But, you lost Dalton Schultz. You couldn't pay him, and now you're down to Jake Ferguson, who won't even play tomorrow. He's hurt. Yeah, Prescott's a good quarterback, but, he needs more than CeeDee Lamb. Sharon McClain, nobody named Brady, please. I get it. He is the most likable Brady in the NFL. I will say that. All right, so Sharon does not want Joe Brady or Brady Quinn or Brady Latham or how many other Bradys are there? So, all right, let's go on to number 3. So Sharon doesn't want Joe Brady, but maybe she will want Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator from Detroit. Now, I'm going to say this. My numbers 5, 4, and 3, I would not be doing headstands over these. But I'm like, okay, let's take a chance on him. All right. So Ben Johnson, he's going to become an NFL head coach whenever he darn well pleases. He's only 38 years old. Detroit just knows how to stay ahead of schedule. They rank in the top 5 in conversion rate on first down runs and first down passes. Johnson knows how to use his talent, but he is able to blend in elements from different offensive schemes to keep defenses on their toes. This is not like with the Robert Saleh defense. It was, this is what we're going to do. You know what we're going to do, but now you got to stop it. Now you got to beat it. Ben Johnson will get creative. He will do different elements of offense from week to week in order to keep defenses confused and to keep them guessing. Now, teams like Washington and Carolina have wanted to hire him. Johnson has turned them down, preferring to stay with the Lions and build with them. Now, how much longer is he willing to do that? We don't know. The competition is going to be fierce. If he has the chance to work with a Dak Prescott in Dallas or a Caleb Williams in Chicago, he may not be able to turn that down. And if Detroit goes on to make or win the Super Bowl, he's pretty much going to be at his peak, and you got to strike while the iron is hot. So that's what I'm thinking. If you're a Jets fan and you want Ben Johnson, I think you got to be rooting for Detroit to go as far as they possibly can. But they're in great shape to get that first round bye. It could very, very well happen. Am I as high on Ben Johnson as other people are? Here's my thing. If you're going with a first-time coordinator, cool. I'll go with him. But if he's turned down these other teams, why would he come here? That's the question we're coming to. The only way I could see it is if Ray Agnew gets hired as general manager. And let's say Agnew and Johnson have a close working relationship together in Detroit, and the Jets want to do that. It's something else when the Jets are trying to copy the Lions. Where has football gone when the Lions are the model franchise? Yeah. Here's looking at you, Jeremy. How you doing? Yeah, the old Wednesday night chaos. Yeah, the wacky Wednesday nights. Those were good times. Jeremy, appreciate you stopping by, man. Hope you and Jocelyn and everybody around you are having a good early Thanksgiving Eve. I know you got some good grub planned for tomorrow. For sure. And Jeremy just took it over to Creepyville. I appreciate you coming by, man. All right, so Ben Johnson is going to be my number 3. Now, I've got two candidates who I want above and beyond, more than the others. My number 2 is going to be Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator in Minnesota. Now, Flores is the problem solver. So when he took over as defensive coordinator in Minnesota ahead of the 2023 year, Minnesota ranked 29th in yards per play allowed with 5.9, 28th in opponent's scoring rate, and 28th in yards per drive allowed. 2 years later, the Vikings have one of the best defenses in the league, and he is rebuilding his reputation after, getting very unceremoniously fired in Miami. All right. Now, he's got that. Brian Flores is just diabolical. I think he gives you the Rex Ryan effect without the Rex Ryan history. He's not going to, and he can run his mouth a little bit too, but I think Flores is like the young African-American version of Rex in a way, because he will scheme however he needs to. He will blitz like crazy. Now, he went 24. Here are the drawbacks. Went 24-25 in 3 years in Miami. Never made the playoffs. Did not get along with Tua as well. And of course, we got to deal with the lawsuit. He's suing the NFL and several teams for racial discrimination after not getting a head coaching position during the 2022 offseason. But Flores deserves another opportunity. He did go 19-7 in those final 2 years in Miami when they were still rebuilding, and we're seeing that core has really turned into something pretty dang good. Okay? So I would love to see Flores because he is good at turning teams around, and I like that he's had time. Remember, when the Jets hired Adam Gase, he had just been fired from Miami. He didn't have time to lick his wounds, to sniff the smelling salts. He didn't have a chance to say, what did I do wrong? No, the Jets hired him immediately because he was coaching football where it was going. The infamous Christopher Johnson quote that I cannot forget. Yes, I can assure you, I've already said that. Sharon agrees that Ray Agnew and Ben Johnson. Oh, you're thinking about Aaron Glenn as defensive coordinator? I don't know. I wonder if Aaron Glenn would take a parallel job. I don't know. I think if Aaron Glenn leaves, he would really try to be head coach. But you know what? If he was to leave for any team, probably be the Jets. Probably would do it. Because, maybe his heart is still here. Maybe. So I would definitely be a big, big fan of Brian Flores. Knows the division, knows what it's like. I think he checks a lot of boxes. I just wonder a little bit about working with the quarterback, and that's something that Rick Spielman, Mike Tannenbaum, going to have to ask him about. And Woody's going to have to talk to him about it as well. All right. And then my number one, I think is going to be a lot of people's number one. It's Mike Vrabel. Really, I just think this picture is pretty freaking hysterical. Yeti with a question: in bird stuffing or stovetop? I saw you guys talking about stuffing. I am a stovetop guy. I put it on the stove. I will say this: I like cornbread stuffing, and I go Pepperidge Farm. I don't do stovetop. I like Pepperidge Farm. One of the things I like is that you get to cook your own vegetables, whereas with stovetop, it's all provided for you. But I like to actually cook the onion, celery, maybe some other stuff. Maybe I'll sneak in a little jalapeno in there if I want to spice it up. I could use whatever butter and oil I want. And I can mix some other things in there, like cheddar cheese or maybe some pork sausage. And I'll mix the stuffing in there. And then I like to crisp it up a little bit. I like to leave it in the pan, put it on a high temperature, and get a little bit of that crust. So, yeah, I never put stuffing in the bird. I am a Pepperidge Farm cornbread stuffing guy all the way. And even the Thanksgiving dinner I had at my college, their stuffing, not as good as the Pepperidge Farm. I can tell you that. How about a little cayenne pepper? Heck yeah, man. I'll do the cayenne pepper. My water is cayenne free tonight. I can tell you that. I actually use a Cajun seasoning, a Weber Grill Cajun seasoning, and I like to put that in there. But yeah, I like to put a little bit of spice in it. I don't want to overwhelm it, but yeah, you want enough to where it just wakes you up a little bit. But yeah, Yeti's right. Sausage is dope and stuffing, yeah. If you like chorizo is a good way to go too. But yeah, I just like good old-fashioned breakfast pork sausage in there. I know some of my fellow Italians like the Italian sausage stuffing. You won't get a complaint out of me there. Yeah. Harlan, in bird stuffing, we use different stuffings at each end of the turkey. Okay, if you can get it up there from the top, then hey, all right, that works. That works. Chris goes, he wants Borganza. Oh, that's the Kansas City. I know what you mean, the Kansas City assistant GM, and Brian Flores. Okay, cool. That's cool. Jeremy says, put some sweetened stuffing, maybe some apples, some cranberry. There you go. Maybe, yeah, like dry cranberries. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I even put a little bit of, I had some extra pecans. I put some chopped pecans in there too. because I want to add a little more crunch into it. That worked nicely. Stuffing's like a blank canvas. You can put so much stuff in there. Yeah, that's one of the cool things about it. One of the things I like most about stuffing. But yeah, Pepperidge Farm cornbread. I usually get like 2-3 bags, and because sometimes it can be a little bit hard to find year round. The stovetop is always there. I don't like the stovetop cornbread as much. It's got too much like white bread in it. I want straight cornbread. While we'd be happy with any of the four, with Vrabel, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, or Todd Monken. All right, I'm good with that. Again, I just don't want to go first-time defensive coordinator again. I can't. I've got too much scar tissue from that. But Mike Vrabel, let's talk about Mike Vrabel for a little bit. So with the Titans, he went 54-45, won the 2021 Coach of the Year before getting fired, went 9-7 his first 2 years with Tennessee, made the AFC Championship game. And never forget, he beat Tom Brady, the immortal Tom Brady, who's never done anything wrong in his life, in his final game in New England. I just wanted to point that out. I could still see Logan Ryan returning that final pass for a pick six to clinch the game. Just want to remind everybody of that. So he followed that up with consecutive seasons of double-digit wins in 2020 and 2021, made the playoffs 3 out of 6 years with Tennessee. Now, he took a year off. His choice at age 48 has been consulting with Cleveland this year, so you have to wait till the Cleveland season ends before you talk to him. But he will bring leadership, a sharp defensive mind. He's well-liked by players. And he actually got interviews last year with Atlanta, Carolina, with the Chargers as well. My biggest concern, my biggest concern with him is I'm worried he's so close to Belichick that Belichick will do everything he can to talk him out of coming to the Jets. That scares me. That really scares me. I'm worried that Belichick is going to screw us one last time and convince Vrabel to not take the job. And I'd like to think that I'd like to think that it's just like Belichick-itis that I'm dealing with, but I'm just too worried about it. So, talk about the gravy now. Turkey gravy from the runoff juices. Yeah, you got to use the drippings. Yeah, I like to do that with my pork roast. When I do the pork roast, use just throw in the flour. Here's what I would do: throw in the flour, and I recommend if you can find it, go with Wonder flour. In fact, I'm gonna go get it for you because I want everybody to see this. So I'm gonna turn the background off. Gonna walk over to the freezer. Be back in 5 seconds. All right, guys. So this is the magic ingredient if you're trying to make a good gravy. And again, I should be getting paid for this. So Wonder flour. You probably got to go to a decent grocery store in order to get it. But it's a very fine gold medal flour, and it dissolves very easily. So you are very less like, whereas regular flour can clump up, okay? This is going to dissolve very, very easily in with your drippings, and it'll help to really make a very good gravy. So Wondra flour, all right? And then just slowly add your stock, whisk it in, chicken stock, turkey stock, and I always like to finish mine with a little bit of fresh leaf flat cut parsley, just for that green, that little bit of freshness in there. And if it's too thin, bring it up to a boil and let it reduce for a little bit to help it concentrate. If it's too thick, add a little bit of warm chicken broth to sort of thin it out. So that's what I would recommend you all do. So those are your gravy tips for the night while we're talking about Mike Vrabel. All right, let's talk about where the team is right now. A couple of injuries with the Jets. Breece Hall's knee is hurting. I think this may be why Bam Knight was signed. So welcome back, Zonovan Bam Knight. NC State, go Wolfpack. Come on. Tyron Smith likely headed to IR. He is seeing a lot of different specialists for his neck. God bless him. I don't want to see him on the field again. Owen Fashanu has got to play the rest of the way. Don't need to see him again. CJ Mosley did practice today. Tomorrow, the Jets will have pads on, and that will be the test to see if he can play on Sunday. And as good as Sherwood has been, I feel like the run defense has taken a step back with Mosley off the field because while he doesn't have the speed, he has the smarts. So that is something to keep in mind. You like the candied yams? I didn't care for the candied yams. Just too syrupy, gets in everything. I wasn't big into the candied yams. Sweet potatoes are fine, but nah, can't quite do that. Yeah. All right. So that's it as far as the news goes. Now we're going to do a little bit. You know what? We got to break out Tankathon right now. Usually we're in a trivia by now, but yeah, this show's going to run late tonight. I'm missing Rangers Hurricanes, and I freaking don't care right now. I really don't. All right, let's talk about where we are in the overall Tankathon standings. So this is your slide right now. So I've got the bottom 8 teams. I'll show you a second slide in a moment. So right now you got 3 teams at 2 and 9, Jacksonville, the Giants, and the Raiders. And then, of course, the first tiebreaker is strength of schedule. The worse your strength of schedule, the better draft pick you get. So Jacksonville, 495. No, Jeremy, we have not done trivia yet. We'll get through the brief game preview, then we'll go into trivia. So we are not there just yet. And then let's check the likes and see how we're doing. Remember, 15 likes. We spin the wheel. How are we doing on the likes right now? We don't have enough likes, guys. So if you want to put me to spin the wheel tonight on this Thanksgiving Eve, you got to hit that thumbs up button. You know how it goes. All right. I draw a hard and fast line on that wheel. All right. Okay. So the thing with Jacksonville, they've got the second easiest schedule remaining. So if they finish even tied for the worst record, they're all but certain to have that number 1 pick. And you got to wonder, I still think Trevor Lawrence stays. I don't think he's going anywhere. Keep in mind, the Jaguars take about $120, $130 million dead cap hit if they trade him. Okay. Oh, yep, we got it. Yep, looks like we got it. We got those likes. But, guys, I know you could do even better. Let's get up to 20. I know you could do even better than that. All right, the Giants in Vegas, pretty middle of the road schedules at this point. Giants a little bit ahead of the Raiders. And then you get the Patriots, who have not had their bye week yet. That'll be coming up, I believe, week 14. Okay, everybody plays this week for Thanksgiving. They have a 466 strength of schedule, which is very, very low. But they got the second hardest remaining schedule, so that strength of schedule is going to rise as we keep going over the course of the season. Yeah, Jeremy, with a good point. Jacksonville and Tennessee do play twice, so somebody we think has to win. Now, the 3 and 8 teams, we got 4. We've got 4. We got Carolina, Tennessee, the Jets, and Cleveland. All right. Now, Carolina 487, Tennessee 503, Jets right behind at 505, and Cleveland at 518. Okay, there we go. All right, let me add myself back in. The camera's decided to be stupid. All right, there we go. All right, let's do that. And now I've got to I got to bring the slides back up. So let's do that. There we go. Okay, good. All right, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, sometimes the camera just sometimes the camera just randomly loses connection. It's a plug-in camera, so what are you going to do? All right, so Carolina and Cleveland both with top 10 schedules. So in the top 10 hardest schedules. Tennessee with the 4th easiest schedule. Jets a little bit less than that. So this is a situation where you kind of hope Jacksonville and Tennessee kind of split those 2 games, and we go from there. Now, right behind these teams is interesting. You got 4, 4, and 7 teams. So 4 teams only 1 game back of the Jets. New Orleans, Cincy, Dallas, and Chicago. Now, New Orleans 487, Cincy 495, Dallas 518. The Bears, their schedule has been brutally hard. 555, plus they have the hardest schedule left. The hardest schedule. Indianapolis right behind them. They have the easiest schedule remaining. I don't think Indy is really going to factor into this. Okay, I expect Indy to win maybe 3 more. I expect Indy to win 8, 9 games for the year. But just to show you where everybody is. And so right now I'm only counting teams that are 2 wins, that are within reasonable striking distance of the Jets. But going back to the Jets slide, and then I'll come back. So the Jets have a 505 strength of schedule, which would put them right in the middle right now of these 4 and 7 teams. All right. So yeah, it's going to be very, very tight the rest of the way. This could go up and down any given week. Dane can't wait to see where we fall on Tankathon at 9-8. Really? Yeah, I could see it. I can really, really see that. All right. So, and here's our week 13 rooting guide as well. So I got the 2-win teams, the 3-win teams, the 4-win teams, and the other games to look at based off strength of schedule. So the teams in bold are the teams that we're rooting for. So you want the Giants to beat Dallas, Jacksonville over Houston, the Raiders over the Chiefs. All makes sense. The 3-win teams, the Patriots against Indy, Carolina versus Tampa, Tennessee versus Washington, Cleveland at Denver, I think is going to be a pretty interesting game. And then the 4-win teams, the Rams at the Saints. Now that matters that much more. Where I put an asterisk, strength of schedule is going to matter. Now the Jets' strength of schedule versus Carolina will be affected, so you want New Orleans to win that game. All right, so that's why I got an asterisk. The big game to watch, Pittsburgh at Cincy. We have to really root for Cincinnati to win that game. That affects their tiebreaker with New England, with Tennessee, with like 3 or 4 other relevant teams. So we really got to, root for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and company. Hopefully their defense finally figures it out. Then you got to root for the Bears against the Lions. Again, the Bears with that tough schedule, I could see them coming back to the pack, especially if the Jets win a game or two. All right, so that's going to be a tough one, but we got to hope the Bears win somewhere. And the other games to watch, rooting for Arizona, the Chargers, the Niners, the Eagles, and the Packers. The Packers are another strength of schedule game to deal with as well. So I feel pretty good about that Packer game, but a lot of these other ones, I don't know. Although I will say, the Giant-Cowboy game, Drew Lock against Cooper Rush, neither team can Dallas can't run the ball to save their lives. I think Giants-Cowboys could be very close because both teams are just struggling so much right now, despite Dallas's big win over Washington. I just got a weird feeling about that, but we'll see. All right, so that is it as far as that goes. I don't know. Do I want to do the game preview? I'll just give you a couple of quick notes here about the Seahawks as well. I'll give you 5 quick notes on them, and then we're going to get right into the trivia. All right, let's see. Let me bring this back up. And I'm gonna skip right through the DVOA. I don't even care at this point. 5 things to know about Seattle. All right. Number 1, Seattle is second in the league in passing yards per game, 257.2. Going against the Jets' pass defense, that's going to be pretty dang good. Jackson Smith-Njigba is now the feature target in the Seattle passing offense. He has team highs with 66 catches, 755 passing yards or receiving yards. That's 6th in the NFL. 4 touchdowns. In the last 3 weeks, he has 3 touchdowns, 366 receiving yards. So whoever has to deal with JSN, they got the tough assignment. Not so much Metcalf or Lockett. Number 3, during the season, they added Ernest Jones, the linebacker from Tennessee, in a trade. He's been very good, 47 tackles in 4 games. So watch for Ernest Jones to be making tackles when the Jets are running the football. Number 4, the special teams, very, very shaky. Seattle has committed 3 turnovers on kick returns this year. They've also allowed a blocked field goal that was returned for a touchdown. And our old buddy Jason Myers, who's still kicking for them, he's missed 5 kicks this year, including 2 extra points. And number 5, Seattle is 6-0 all-time at MetLife Stadium. They're 4-0 against the Giants, 1-0 against the Jets, and they had that Super Bowl victory over Denver in February of 2014. All right, there we go. So that is the news, the breakdown, and that's about all the time I want to spend breaking down Jets Seahawks. I will still be doing my usual videos. We will be doing the confidence predictions. I do that every single week. My plan is to have those up early tomorrow morning by about 9 a.m. or so. And then probably Thanksgiving night into Black Friday, Thanksgiving night, I'll have my game preview up for Jets Seahawks, and I will also have the 5 bowl predictions video too. Jets mess, where you been, man? Where have you been? What, I had internet for 2 months? Where the hell have you been, dude? Channel member Jets mess, I appreciate it. Channel memberships, just $5 a month. You get all the cool emojis. I mention you at the end of every video. Your name is there on screen, so definitely check out the memberships. All right, one more swig of water for the working man and woman. All right, guys. I think you all know what time it is, and we are doing it just a little bit later than we normally did. Okay, West Coast. Okay, that makes sense. I got you. Well, congratulations on your break. All right, I'm glad. It's a good time to be in education. I will say that. I got 3.5 days off, so I'm feeling pretty good. But you know what happens every single week? I head into the labyrinth of Jets knowledge. I bust open the books. I pull up the websites. I even open the Encyclopedia Britannica, and I, Watch2K99, challenge you, the most loyal, godforsaken franchise in the National Football League. Just how much do you know about your New York Jets? So if you are ready, are you ready? On this Thanksgiving Eve, let us play Jets Trivia. Okay, and you know the deal. We try to make every question as topical as we can. And yes, the answer is already Elite Cravette. He already got it right. Oh, you voted to keep the 10 o'clock show. You were the exception. The thing is, man, what can I tell you? I get off work now. It used to be Wednesday night. I got off work at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now I get off work at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's just too much to sit around 5 hours waiting to do the show. And, I feel like the audience has got a little bit bigger since we started doing this. So I'm sorry if it doesn't work easiest for your schedule, man. I really am. But it's just the way the cookie has to crumble. The only show announcement I do need to make is Christmas night is a Wednesday, so I will not be doing a show that night. I will actually not be in the country at that time. With my situation, I'll be able to do short videos, things like that, but I will not be able to do a full show on Christmas night. So just want to give everybody an ample warning ahead of time, but that's the only change that I see. Thank you. And you know what? You should tell all your students to do the same thing. Okay, so I thought about doing either a Seahawks trivia question or a Thanksgiving question, but I'm going to do a Seattle question because we don't see the Seahawks all that often. Where am I going? Am I going to Rome, to the Vatican? I went to Rome in what was the year? 2019, I think it was. Yeah, that was my first time in Europe, my only time in Europe. Yeah, that was one of the 2018, summer of 2018, and that was one of the coolest trips I ever had. Did a Mediterranean cruise, got into Rome, into Venice, Marseille, France. South France is beautiful. I can tell you this. If people talk about Paris, check out Marseille. It's amazing, and Barcelona, Spain. So that was probably maybe the biggest vacation I've ever had. But I'll be in New Orleans, and then I will be taking a cruise out of there into Mexico and into Jamaica, and I think into Georgetown as well. So I'll be going tubing and doing some other fun stuff. So yeah, I'm probably posting it on my Instagram. So you can always look for my Instagram. Most of my Instagram tends to be food pictures, though. But yes, that's where I'll be. I should be in New Orleans the day before the Saints have a home game. I don't know if I'm going to go because believe me, with what you got to pay for like freaking drink packages and excursions nowadays, it's pretty insane. But we'll see, because that would be it. Because the cruise gets back Saturday morning, and then the game is Sunday afternoon, so it would probably mean 2 more nights in a hotel, and that may be pretty difficult. So it'd be fun to go to a Saints game, but I don't know if I'll be able to do that. Okay, let's get into tonight's question. It is Jets Seahawks related, and it goes like this. The last time the Jets beat Seattle was 2004. It's been 20 years. Chad Pennington, the GOAT, passed for 18 for 24, 253 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But my question for you is, who led the Jets in receiving yards that game? So you have 5 minutes. Let's see your answers. Throw them down there in the chat. And we will see how you are doing. And let's see if you're able to get. I'm only asking for one name tonight. Can you get it? Yeah, Vatican is amazing. I don't care what your spiritual affiliation is. You got to go to the Vatican. If you had a chance to ever go into Rome and into the Vatican, wow. that you could spend all day there, but there's a reason you're not allowed to photograph it. Because if you did, you'd never leave. It is an amazing place to be. Absolutely. Wild Wave goes with Santana Moss. Is it Santana Moss? It is not. Santana Moss had 79 yards. He came in second, and he had 2 touchdowns in this game, but it was not him. Dano goes with Justin McCairns. Is it Justin McCairns? I'm afraid not. Justin McCairns had 40 yards. He came in third, but there was one player who caught more than both those players. So in receiving yards, that buzzer was a little loud. I'm going to turn that down just a bit. All right. Jeremy goes with Jericho Crotchery. Jericho Crotchery. Well, that was, he was, oh my gosh. Step right 1. Now we know his name for Jericho Crotchery. All right. Is it Jericho Crotchery? I'm afraid not. I think I saw another answer down there. Anthony Beck. No, not quite. Wild Wave says, the immortal Doug Jolly. Is it Doug Jolly? No. We're getting there, but we are not there. Oh my God, your section's SGT's wife got shot in the Vatican City when that guy shot the Pope. Oh my, that was John Paul II, right? Wow. Dan goes with Lavernius Coles. No, I don't think Coles was on the team. I think Coles was with Washington at that point. I think he had been traded. Yeah, I think that was the year after he got traded. I think that was the Moss for. Actually, Moss was there. So Moss was with the Jets. So he had been traded yet, but it was not Lavernius. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because that's right. Coles left, went to Washington, and then we traded Santana to bring Coles back. So yeah, Coles was with Washington at the time. Yeah, you're right. When they had that god-awful feather logo with Steve Spurrier, do you remember that? It looked like the Florida State helmet. It looked terrible. Jets Chaos thinks it's Curtis Martin. Oh, yeah, Curtis Martin. Is it Curtis Martin? It is not. It is not Curtis Martin. Are we going to get it tonight? Scott Foster trying the same thing, but yeah, it is not him. Chris Reddingen goes Sewell. Is he guessing Penny Sewell? It is not Penny Sewell. All right, we got 1:30 to go. Dano goes Wayne Corbett. Yeah, that's just a few too many years back. It's just a few too many years before that. No, not Wayne Corbett. What was Wayne Corbett's last year? Wayne Corbett retired in 2005. But he actually played 16 games in 2004. But no, he was not. That was not it. That is not it. Scott Foster goes Chris Baker, the touchdown maker. No, not Chris Baker. Wild Wave says, give us a hint. It is not a wide receiver. It is not a wide receiver. 35 seconds left on the clock. And hang around. We'll do the 100 Jets wheel in a moment, too. Jets Chaos goes with Soul. What's his first name? What's his first name? Lamont Jordan. No, it is not Lamont Jordan. Jeremy, I'm giving you a chance. 5. Oh, my God. You guys just pulled it out. Gerald Soul is correct. 83 yards, 4 more than Santana Moss. So, yep, the fullback. That's exactly right. It was a tough question, but you guys pulled it out. So, chat, you know what that means. You win. You are now 8-5 on the season in trivia. You are well on your way to getting an above 500 season. So, good job. It was... Man, that was a tough one. Yeah, Gerald Soul. It's not a player that many of us have probably thought about in a long time. But yeah, Gerald Soul, just give you a little info about him. He was with the Packers in 97, then went to the Jets immediately, was there from 97 to 05 and finished his career with 06. So, but he had 47 catches in 03, 45 catches in 04. And here's some, I'll give you another trivia question. He actually has 135 career tackles on special teams. That's a Jets franchise record. 135 special teams tackles. How about that? So if I ask you who has the most special teams tackles in Jets history, I don't know how many people, I don't even know if Mike Westhoff would know that. He might, but I don't know. All right, guys, good job. I think that was a really, really good question. So now I think we know what we got to do. Anything to keep me from watching the Rangers right now. All right, so we are going to go ahead and spin the wheel, and we're going to do the 100 random wheel. Last time we did quarterbacks, and that was one of the most depressing things I think any of us have ever done. So we got to do something we feel a little more thankful for. And I'm feeling thankful for the wheel, and I'm feeling thankful for all of you guys in the chat right now. I really am. I appreciate it because all kinds of things that you can be doing. I know tomorrow's a big day for a whole lot of you. And in fact, you're spending some time with me. Love you. Okay, so let's share the screen. And what I got to do is hit the share button. There we go. It should be good. All right, I'm going to give a second for that to pop up on the screen. And now I'm switching over to my cell phone to make sure everything looks the way that it should. Yep, that looks, I think that looks about spot on. Oh, let me, you know what? Yeah, we could do the format this way where you could still see me and the wheel. So if you have to zoom in a little bit, cool. But as long as you can see I'm just going to do a random spin here just to make sure that everybody can read it. This is not going to count. But I just want to make sure that if we do that, you can see the name. If we do it this way, that way you could see my reaction. Yeah, I can see Darrelle Revis. I think that should be. I think we're going to be okay doing it this way for a change. Yeah, we could do the. Yeah. Good. Now, not that way, but. Let's do it that way. I'm going to go down there into the corner. Yeah, I think we'll try it this way from now on. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, guys, so you know the rules. You know how this works by now, but for anybody who may be brand new, here's the deal. We have 100 random New York Jets from the past on this wheel. We've also got a couple of little stipulations as well that could switch things up quite quickly. So what I'm going to do is spin this wheel 10 times. And our goal is to blind rank those 10 players from best Jet, Ring of Honor level, to worst Jet, Ring of Hell level. We got everybody here from Curtis Martin to Christian Hackenberg, from I don't know, Braylon Edwards to Browning Nagel. I was just thinking of another Jet who started with a B. Brandon Moore to Browning Nagel. There you go. All right. From Don Maynard to Doug Bryan. There, that's a perfect one. That's a perfect one. Don Maynard to Doug Bryan. Okay, so one of the things that we do before every spin, you guys, you put your guesses down there in the chat on who we're going to land on. And if we land on that player you select, then you get to put that Jet anywhere on the list that you want to. All right, so we are going to do that right now. So everybody start putting your guesses down there in the chat. My guess, I'm going to wait. I'm going to pick my Jet last. I want to see how we're feeling tonight. Are you thinking we're going to land on some Hall of Famers, some elite all-time Jets, players we're proud to wear the jerseys of, or players that we've had to subscribe to BetterHelp because of? All right. Yeah, Tyron Smith, the candidate to go on IR. We pretty much know the deal. All right. Any text messages? There we go. All right, Jets Chaos. Acting on behalf of Nick Shine with JoJo Townsell. Snowball. Hey, how you doing, man? From Jets Worldwide. Definitely check him out on Sunday mornings. Does a great job as game show host. Great job. Scott goes with Johnny Hector. Yeti with Brandon Marshall. Sharon McClain goes with Greg the Greg Zerline. Did I put Zerline on here? Was I diabolical enough to add Greg frickin' Zerline? I can't. No, I didn't put him on there. I don't think because he's not a past Jet. Abdul Salam, yes, rest in peace, Abdul. Roger Vic, you should put Lee on there just for the heck of it. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. You guys want this? Here's what we'll do. Let's see, style. Let's see if I can do this. Open advanced mode. All right. Lee Cravette says spin again. Right? And then Lee Cravette says, I'm going to give you a poison pill. Pick any player. Well, that'd be free choice. So if we get that, we can pick any player we want. Let's do that. All right. And now I got to give these a shuffle because I don't want those two together. Shuffle slices. There we go. Okay. Ray Mickens and Coleman are on there. I know, yeah, Mickens are there. Mickens is there for sure. I don't think Marcus Coleman is. I don't think so. All right, here we go. We're going to do spin number 1, and I'm going to pick Sheldon Richardson. All right, Sheldon Richardson. In 3, 2, 1. And round it goes. It comes to a stop on Wayne Cravette, ironically, who we were just talking about. And amazingly, nobody picked Wayne Cravette. I don't think. No, I don't see Cravette's name in the chat. You know what? Usually it's a struggle for us to find a number 1 or a number 2 Jet, but we can put Wayne Cravette anywhere on this list that we want. So I think he's going to be pretty high. Now, would I rank Wayne Cravette as the best Jet I've ever seen? I would not, but I'd definitely put him in that upper echelon. You know what he is? He's the Jeremy Ruckert who freaking worked out. You know? The local kid who made it big that people didn't really give a chance to. So Yeti goes with a 1. I see a couple of 1s. I see a 3 from Snowball, and I see a 2 also. Yeah, because here's the thing. If we land on, say, a Don Maynard, a Joe Klecko, a Joe Namath, you know, that type of a player, you know, I would have to put them above Wayne Cravette. You know, Mark Astino, same thing. But yeah, Scott making a good point. Number 1, because I know how the wheel goes. It's a very, very fair point. All right, Wayne has to go save a couple's marriage and have a great holiday. Thanks, man. Go keep doing some good in the world and enjoy your pizza. All right, be sure to watch the rest of the wheel a little bit later. All right, so yeah. Okay, so I'm seeing right now the 1s have a slight edge. 2, right now it's like kind of between a 1 and a 2. It's right on the edge. I'd probably go 2 myself. And of course, only vote 1. Only vote 1 time, guys. I'm watching Yeti. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. I see what you're doing. All right, I'm seeing it right now. It looks like the ones got the edge right now. So you know what? We're going to do the opposite. We usually always fill in number 1 last. Today we're going to fill in number 1 first. So I'm going to put Wayne Cravette as our number 1 Jet on tonight's list. How about that? Okay, guys, so we got number 1 locked in. Now it's on to spot number 2. Oh, you know what? I need to shuffle the wheel again. 1 second here. I need to shuffle this. I saw that 2 of the stipulation spots were together, and I can't have that. Actually, 3 of them were together, and that was going to ruin it. Okay, there we go. Now it looks better. Okay, so who are we going to pick? I'm going to say Zach Wilson. Why not? And while you guys are making your predictions, I'm going to finish off what's left of my prime lemonade. Yeti with a fair point. He's realistically a 4. That's a little harsh. But we can't trust the wheel. This is going to be the best 1 to 10 we've ever had. Watch. Yeah. All right, I see Al Toon. I see Vlad Dukas. Snowball thinking we're going to get a bust here. Sharon showing some confidence with Freeman McNeil. Chris Bradigan goes with Crabette's old teammate, Lavernius Coles. All right. Give me about 10 seconds before we spin. Man, I should be like this. This episode has been brought to you by Prime Energy, Prime Hydration Drink, and Wonder Flower. 4, 3, 2. Okay, let's spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1. And that wheel goes around and it comes to a stop on, oh God. Oh, I can't even look at his name without wanting to throw up. Kyle freaking Wilson, one of the biggest for a franchise that has specialized in first round draft pick busts. This guy is right up there with any one of them that you could ever mention. He was an okay tackler, but he was basically allergic to an interception. Played 10, 15 yards off everybody. He makes Zach Wilson almost look like an NFL player. Almost. Snowball with a 9, Yeti with a 12. Oh man. Sharon with a 10, Mess with a 9, Scott with a 9, Dane with a 9. Yeah, he's giving a little bit to Kyle Wilson. Chris goes with a 20. All right. So right now the 9's with a slight edge. I would put him as my 10. About the only players I would put below him are like Christian Hackenberg and maybe Browning Nagel, Doug Bryant, those guys. I mean, that's how little I think of him. But right now the 9's have a slight edge. So I'll give you guys a few more seconds. Let your voices be heard. Scott, the 9 is no respect for Kyle Wilson, but total respect for the shit the wheel can throw at us. Yeah, pretty hard to beat him, though. So that'd be pretty challenging. All right. It looks like the 9's are going to have it. So Kyle Wilson gets spot number 9. 9's just beat it out. Okay, on to spin number 3. All right, spin number 3. I think we're going to land on... You know what? We've had I was thinking, no. You know what? Because he was guessing the chat earlier, I'm going to say Jericho Cotchery. Jets Mess says Kyle tackled better than Sauce. That's fair, but comparing the coverage skills, it's not even close. All right, Scott goes Ken O'Brien. Snowball goes Curtis Martin. So Snowball going with sort of the opposite effect, going from low to high. All right. I got Koch, or as it was said in the chat earlier, crotchery. All right, I see Mark Sanchez from Dane. Jim Sweeney from Chris Bradigan. Okay. And yet he goes Don Maynard. Okay, I think we're pretty good. All right, here comes spin number 3 in 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on Bilal Powell. I actually had a little Twitter exchange with him. Bilal was actually arguing for the Jets to go get Bill Belichick, and I said, it's not going to happen. I said, he will. I basically had to say, look, Bilal, he's not coming. And he actually responded to me. So that was pretty cool of him. All right, so Bilal Powell. Decent Jet for a long time. Not a difference maker, I would say. But, a good, solid running back for quite some time. So where are we going to put Bilal Powell? I see 5'4". I see a couple of 7s. I go a little, considering how this wheel goes, I would go a little bit nicer than that, but okay. All right, a couple 5s. Dane waving the flag, putting him at a 4. Yeah, I would expect him to be right smack in the middle of this, I'd probably go for about a 5 to a 6 myself and then just hope everything else works out. All right. Give you guys another minute to get your final votes in. Right now, I think the 5s have the edge because that's about where I'm leaning. Yeah, it's right in the middle of 5 or 6. It's the thing is everybody's saying nobody said 6 yet. It's been 2 5, so that's why I think I'm going 5. Okay, I think we're gonna call it. Bilal Powell 5. All right, so we got 3 spins done. We got Wayne Corbett at number 1, Bilal Powell at number 5, and Kyle Wilson at number 9. So we got top level, mid level, and bottom level. That's usually a good sign for how it's going to go. Okay, let's go to spin number 4. I'm going to say we get another middle of the road kind of jet. I'm going to say Brian Thomas. Another jet who was here for a long time, not an all-time great, but a good, decent jet for a while. Dane is staying with Mark Sanchez. I think, every week Dane picks one particular player that he's going to latch onto, and tonight it appears to be Mark Sanchez. All right, snowball with Lamont Jordan. Mo Wilkerson, Rick Meyer. Yeti, this one's going to pan out for the Thanksgiving wheel. Hey, it could. Okay. All right, I went with Brian Thomas. Okay, let's spin the wheel. This is spin number 4. In 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on, Joe Willie Namath. Super Bowl MVP, the only 4,000-yard thrower in a single season in Jets franchise history, Hall of Famer, voted the greatest character in the history of the NFL. Knees weren't so good, threw a lot of interceptions in his time as well, but pretty much the guy. Jets mess, we can't make him number 1 anymore. We gave that to Wayne Corbett. So, yeah, this wheel really is pinning out. Dane going with 7. Dane, are you trolling at this point? Come on. He's got to be number 2. I don't see how he's number 2. Yeah, I mean, unless we get now, it's not over yet, because if we land on one of those special stipulation spots, we can change a few things. So, not over yet. Snowball, number 2, even though he cursed us. He most certainly did. We went from Rex and bare feet to Joe Namath and pantyhose. How about that? All right, yeah, Joe Namath is going to be number 2. I don't think there's any way we cannot put him in that spot. All right, so we got spots 1, 2, 5, and 9 taken. All right, let's go to spin number 5. I'm going to say that we're going to land on John Abraham, the only player with Jet ties to make the finalists for the modern era for the Hall of Fame voting. I'm going to say number 94/number 56, John Abraham. All right, chat, let me see those guesses. Who do you think we're going to land on for spin number 5? Scott Foster, number 1 at getting loaded on national TV. Yeah, he's up there. Thankfully, he's doing better now. I see Curtis Martin. Of course, Dane says Mark Sanchez. I see Bart Scott. Scott Foster goes with Bart Scott. Okay, I see what's up. All right. Oh, we had a few more people pop in. Everybody, welcome into the show. We're doing our Thanksgiving Wheel, 100 Random Jets. Appreciate everybody stopping by tonight. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving Eve. All right. Sorry to one. Brodzinski scored. All right, good. Snowball has to go break up a marriage. Snowball, what if it's the same couple? All right, let's spin the wheel. Spin number 5 in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to land on not too far from Bart Scott, but instead it's Jonathan Vilma. It's a shame that we traded Vilma as fast as we did. Hey, that's another reason to be mad at Eric Mangini. He didn't think Vilma could play the 3-4, so we traded Vilma to New Orleans basically for a song. He goes on to win a Super Bowl with the Saints. I hate that we traded him. I really liked him a lot. So, Jonathan Vilma. All right, the spots we have 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Where do we put him? I don't know if I could quite put him in the 3 spot, but I feel, and he wasn't a Jet as long as Powell, but I felt he was a more impactful player. Bilal, what was Bilal? Bilal Powell was 5. So far, Corbett 1, Namath 2, Powell 5, Wilson 9. I think at worst, Vilma's a 6. Vilma was a really good player for us when we had him. He just wasn't here long enough. All right, I see an 8, a couple of 6s. It's about where I am. Yeti, I'm convinced you're trolling at this point. You can't tell me Jonathan Vilma was a worse Jet than Kyle Wilson. Man, come on. Come on. All right. Give everybody another moment. All right. All right. I'm going to go. Looks like the 6s have it. I'm going to go Vilma at 6. Yeah, we'll finish this wheel. We'll call it a night. You put him one above. Oh, so you'd put him at an 8? Okay, got it, Yeti. Okay, so you would go 8. All right, so that balances out. But you know what? I'm taking him up to a 6. I gotta put him at a 6. I think he was just that good. Plus 5, he was 51. 5 plus 1 equals 6. So there you go. All right, 3, 4, 7, 8, and 10. That's what's left. All right, let's throw the next round of guesses in. It's time to land on a bust already. We're going to land on Tremaine Johnson, I say. Tremaine, cornerback bust Johnson. Apparently the Rangers playing a little bit better tonight. All right. That's good. All right, let's see. Who are we going to land on? Who are we going to land on, guys? Morning Lions, okay. Okay, guys, remember, spots 3, 4, 7, 8, and 10 are free. We filled 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9. All right, I'm going to spin the wheel. Spin number 6 in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come to a stop on Nick Folk, the kicker. Still in the league, still kicking strong. All right. Made a couple of big-time kicks for us before we did decide to part company. All right, where are we going to put Nick Folk here? Will we put him 3, 4 above Bilal Powell and Jonathan Vilma? Will we put him a little bit below that? 7 or 8? You know he's not going to be number 10. He can't be number 10. It's going to be 3, 4, 7, or 8. I'll be very curious to see where you all go with this. So if you have Bilal Powell at 5, Jonathan Vilma at 6, how do you rate Nick Folk? And Chris and Yeti are just tough, man. All right now it looks like we're going to the back half of it, 7s and 8s. Okay. Yeah, it's almost like position bias, isn't it? It just kind of has to be that way. Okay, give everybody another about 15, 20 seconds to get their guesses in. I guess I would, I think I'd probably go 7 here myself, I think. All right. I think we got those last couple of guesses in. I think we are good. All right, Nick Folk will get spot number 7 on the wheel. All right, let's recap where we are. We've got it. So 10 is blank. Number 9, Kyle Wilson. Number 8 is blank. Number 7, Nick Folk. Number 6, Jonathan Vilma. Number 5, Bilal Powell. Number 4, blank. Number 3, blank. Number 2, Joe Namath. Number 1, Wayne Corbett. So we have 4 spins left. 3, 4, 8, and 10 are left to fill in. All right, let's put some guesses in for where we will land next. I'm going to say Marvin Powell, the old left tackle for 10 years, made a few Pro Bowls with us, I believe. Say Marvin Powell. Yeah, we'll get the other Powell on this. I say this is a 2 Powell list. That's what I think. Scott Foster goes with Tim Tebow. He does not feel the same way. Dano goes the fireman's son. I know, I got it. Sharon, Marty Lyons. Chris goes with Dustin Keller. All right, very good. All right, guys, we're going to spin that wheel. This is spin number 7. And you know, when we've done the 100 random Jets wheel, we have not landed on any of the stipulations, but they are there. They are there. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. We got to get a big-time bust somewhere. Well, this won't be it. We landed on Keyshawn Johnson, the only number 1 overall pick in the Super Bowl era that the Jets have ever had. Was here 4 years, 4 pretty dang good years, and then we traded him to Tampa and got some pretty good draft capital for him. And did have that amazing game against Jacksonville. Had what, the interception, the passing touchdown, I want to say the running touchdowns. Had an amazing game. So Keyshawn, so you have 3, 4, 8, and 10 left. So would you put Keyshawn ahead of Bilal Powell, Jonathan Vilma, and Nick Folk, or would you put him below them? Above or below? And right now it looks like you all want to put him in that top 5 stratosphere ahead of Bilal, Vilma, and the Folk hero. All right. Yeah, it's going to be in the top half for sure. The 3s and 4s are definitely ahead of the 8s and 10s. In fact, we don't have any 8s or 10s at this point. Yeah, it's a tough one. I feel like there's a decent gap between Keyshawn and Bilal. I don't know. It's like, how much of an impact did you make while you were here, or is there more about consistency over a long period of time, right? All right, right now the 3s have the edge, so I think that's where we're probably going to go. I'll give you about 10 seconds to get your final guesses in. Oh, yep, we're knotted up again. Yeah, looks like nearly a split here on the 3s or 4s. If it comes down to that, I'm going to have to cast the deciding vote, which won't be easy to do. But yeah, we got to get some busts here, man. I know they're there. You know they're there too. 5, 4, 3. We got a lot more. We got a lot of people in the chat. Chat, let your voice be heard. Go down there. Is it going to be a 3 or a 4? Let your voice be heard, chat. And unlike other situations, I will not take 3 weeks to count the freaking votes. All right. Looks like Jets Mess is going to cast a deciding vote. He is saying 4. Oh, Snowball said 3. He's here with me waiting on my watch. Is that the marriage? Is yours the marriage he's trying to break up? I got it. Dang, you voted. All right. We're going to go 4 for Keyshawn. That was a good one. All right. That's 7 spins down, 3 to go. And our remaining spots left to fill are 3, 8, and 10. So we got to go really good, not great, but really good, and really bad. That's what we're looking at. All right. I'm going to go, let's see. We'll do one more round of guesses, okay? One more round, but that's going to be it. I'm going to say we land on Ken O'Brien. I say we fill the number 3 spot with Kenny O'Brien. Maybe not my favorite quarterback of all time, but that's what I'm thinking we're going to do tonight. All right, chat. One more round of guesses. Dane, I know you want Mark Sanchez. All right, I see Scott Foster's going with Wesley Walker. All right. So got a dozen people in the chat. That's awesome. As we are coming up on 2 hours on the air tonight on the eve of Thanksgiving. Al Toon, Johnny Mitchell. Okay. So we're going for pass catchers here, I see. All right. Give you about 10 seconds. We'll spin for spot number 8. Yeah. Had a good dinner tonight, by the way. Had my Thanksgiving dinner a little bit early. Did a mushroom stuffed bacon wrapped Cornish game hen. That's on my Instagram and on Facebook. Did that with some air fryer sweet potatoes. I made a broccoli cheddar cheese gratin, some cheese and crackers to start off, and for dessert, did bananas Foster over vanilla ice cream. I could not tell you the last time I had that much ice cream. So, yeah, I even got the Bermuda rum and everything for it. It was quite good. It's quite good, but yeah, I like this. I like dessert, but not that was super rich. Man, it was good. Okay, spin number 8 in 3, 2, 1. And it comes to a stop on Randy Rasmussen. I think this is the perfect number 3. Played with the Jets for 14 years, won a Super Bowl. Played with them from 1967 to 1981. Just, I think, a very underappreciated Jet. I don't think there's any way we cannot go, Scott, I see what you did. Didn't they name the dish after you, Scott Bananas Foster? I'm pretty sure they did. All right. Yeah. All right. So, yep, I think Randy Rasmussen, yeah, he has to be your number 3. There's no way around it. Guys, I don't think anything like this has ever happened. We got 2 spins to go, and we got to fill in spot number 8 and spot number 10. Now, I think it should not be very hard to come up with 2 Jets worse than Nick Folk. This is very possible. This can happen. Okay? All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and spin, and let's see where this goes. So spin number 9 in 3, 2, 1. I'm looking forward to mock draft season. I got to be honest. Oh, no. Kevin Mawai. You guys are right. This is one of the best wheels we've ever had. And we got to put Kevin Mawai. I got to put him at number 8. Yeah, it was 8 or 10. I got to give him the better ranking. So we only have like one bad Jet on this wheel so far. Only one. But now, this is why I wanted Kyle Wilson at number 10. Not that it would have mattered, but all right. One last spin number 10. So this is the first time we're filling in the bottom space last. And let's just go ahead and let's end it in 3, 2, 1. Unless we can get the option to remove it. It's Bilal Powell again. All right, so we get to respin. You know what we got to root for? We got to root for the remove any pick. There's 2 spots where we can remove a pick. So we got to do that and remove Kevin Mawai. That is our goal. All right? There's 2 of them there. That's what we want. Spin number 10. Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Come on, remove any pick. Come on, remove any pick. Oh, remove any pick. Remove any pick. The wheel is still alive. Oh, my goodness. Hey, gee, just in time. Your presence made magic happen. Oh, baby. All right, so we get to remove any pick on the list. So I'm just going to go through the order for Hank and for everybody's just to catch up. So this is the first time we've ever landed on a stipulation spot. This is unbelievable. All right, I'm going to go reverse in from top to bottom. So number 1, Wayne Corbett. Number 2, Joe Namath. Number 3, Randy Rasmussen. Number 4, Keyshawn Johnson. Number 5, Bilal Powell. See how good I'm feeling right now? Number 6, Jonathan Vilma. Number 7, Nick Folk. Number 8, Kevin Mawai. Number 9, Kyle Wilson. Is there any question who we're taking off this wheel? David D., you just missed the most historical, thrilling moment in the history of the Jets wheel. What a moment. I may have to clip that shit. All right, so I think I got to remove Kevin Mawai because he is the reason this wheel is not working out. So, Kevin Mawai, you are out of the number 8 spot. So that means, chat, we got 2 more spaces to fill. Number 8 and number 10. And there's no doubt about it. All we got to do, find 2 Jets on this wheel worse than Nick Folk. With all the busts and failures in our history and all the heartache on the wheel, I know that we can find the ineptitude. Come on, let's do it. Spin number 9. Take 2. In 3, 2, 1. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Oh, no, no. Oh, no. Larry Grantham, the linebacker for us for 10 years and won a Super Bowl. The only New York Titan to win a Super Bowl with the Jets. It did not work out. Oh. This is like watching a Jet the highs, the lows, ultimately breaking our hearts. This is the most freaking Jet-esque wheel we've ever had. Oh, man. I have to clip this together somehow. I got to figure it out. All right. So now we got to try spin number 10. And once again, we got to get a spot where we can delete our last pick. Again, there are 2 spots on the wheel. Last time we were able to do it. Can we do it again? So let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. All right, it's not going to work out. Or will it? For the 3rd time tonight, we land on Bilal Powell. Three times tonight. We get another chance. Oh my God! By the time this wheel is over, it'll be next Thanksgiving. Let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Spin number 10. Do we keep going? Do we keep going? Almost. Oh! 2 spots away from being able to remove the pick. Instead, it's Jerry Philbin. We finish off with 2 Super Bowl Jets, and unfortunately, we got to put him at the very bottom of the wheel. It's just the way the cookie crumble, guys. So, to recap tonight's dramatic, heartbreaking wheel. Number 10, Jerry Philbin. Number 9, Kyle Wilson. Number 8, Larry Grantham. Number 7, Nick Folk. Number 6, Jonathan Vilma. Number 5, Bilal Powell. Number 4, Keyshawn Johnson. Number 3, Randy Rasmussen. Number 2, Joe Namath. Number 1, Wayne Corbett. Guys, you know what that means. We did not get them in order 1 to 10 from best jet to worst jet at all. So as far as the Thanksgiving Eve wheel goes, there's only one thing to say. It's a loss for tonight. So, but guys, this was a hell of a lot of fun. I had a great time. I hope you did as well. Everybody, let's say this. Have a great Thanksgiving. Be sure to watch out. I'll have my confidence picks up tomorrow morning, definitely in time, definitely by 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. at the latest. I'll have those up, and then that night, my plan is to have the Jets-Seahawks preview video and also to have the 5 bold predictions and score prediction video as well. So plenty of content coming up. Meanwhile, hopefully the Rangers can go kick the Hurricanes' ass. I am not the Lenovo Center, even though I'm 3 miles away, but I had a whole lot more fun with you than I probably would in that freaking arena, and it cost me a lot less money. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. I will be at the Knicks-Hornets game on Friday, so maybe we'll do something about that. We'll see. But I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Good night, everybody.